Hey everyone, Tom here from Tom's AWI Review. You are currently looking at 4 miniatures that I just completed, minus the basing. I'm still working on the basing for these figures, of the 1st Pennsylvania Regiment, also known as the 1st Continental Regiment. And essentially these figures that I've painted up here represent a synchronic point in time in 1777. I found a deserter report, which I'm going to read to you briefly right here. Deserted from Captain James Wilson's company of the 1st Pennsylvania Regiment. This is from April 16th to April 30th, 1777. Andrew Sourlack, 5 feet 10 or 11 inches high, of a swarthy complexion and pitted with the smallpox, had on a light-colored coat with red facings and blue jacket and breeches. George Gibson, a drummer, about 5 feet 8 inches high, light hair, had the same kind of clothes as the above. William McCormick, 5 feet 8 inches high, a thick, well-built fellow, wore a dark-colored hunting shirt and trousers. Hugh Mcdonald, 5 feet 10 inches high, and wore a blue coat with red facings. He came from Lancaster County and served last year in the flying camp. Henry Wilson, a fifer, a lad of about 14 years of age, of a fair complexion and light-colored hair, pitted with the smallpox. God, I can't say the smallpox for some reason today. Had on a red jacket and buckskin breeches. John Davison, 5 feet 10 inches high, of a light complexion and short hair, had on a cloth-colored coat with red facings, a blue jacket, and buckskin breeches. Let's see here. William Hogan, 5 feet 7 inches high, and bred to the sea. He is of a dark complexion, had on a light-colored coat with white facings. John Price had on a short blue jacket. Henry Carr had on a light-colored coat with red facings, blue jacket, and buckskin breeches, etc., etc. So basically, why I'm reading this out loud, and I'll try to insert a picture. So I figured out how to include the picture, so you can pause the video and read it and carry on when you're done. Essentially, what we're looking at right here is what a light-colored coat with red facings would look like. I've included an example of a blue waistcoat or waistcoat, and a hunting frock. So just to give you kind of an idea of the theme that I chose for this 1st Pennsylvania Regiment. And let me see if I can get in a little closer on some of these fellows here so you can really appreciate all the mistakes that I've made in painting them. Hopefully you'll forgive me for that, and you'll just enjoy the pretty colors. The pretty colors. Okay. This guy doesn't want to cooperate. Alright. So, basically, what I've done is I've given the 3 guys on the left buckskin breeches. And I've approximated that by using Vallejo Model Color Desert Yellow. Right out of the bottle. Thinned it down a little bit, but that's really about it. I mean, it really is just right out of the bottle. And I use the same color on his waistcoat, on the hunting frock guy's waistcoat. I'm dropping miniatures all over the place because apparently my cats don't have enough things to play with. I'm not going to edit this out, guys, you know. Oh well, just going to be on camera, me dropping things. But here, let me show you here a little bit more of what I decided to do. Is I went with the blue waistcoat primarily because the deserter reports indicate that they were issued blue waistcoats, which is this thing right here. So I've really kind of modeled this guy, and actually the entire regiment, off of this deserter report. Because it lists so many men, I think there was like 8 or 9, I didn't even read them all, from that company who deserted. They were all essentially wearing the same things. Even the drummers, which I thought was interesting, that the drummers were wearing they weren't wearing red faced light or red faced tan, really, because what light colored means is kind of like, if you can see it here, light colored indicates that it's like a teddy bear fur kind of color, like a light tan. And what I did to achieve that color was I used a brand of paints that I don't generally use very often. I use Army Painter War Paints Skeleton Bone, and that gave me exactly the color tan I needed to make this work. And I actually used the exact same color on the hunting frock. And again, to give variety, I left a couple of these guys with long rifles because, which is what this is here, because they were originally a rifle regiment. But by the middle of the war, all of the rifles, I think there was like one rifle company left. Every other company in the regiment was issued Brown Bess muskets, because the long rifle, as more accurate as it is compared to the Brown Bess, the smoothbore Brown Bess, the fact of the matter is, it takes a really long time to load them, and they were finding that the riflemen were really, actually, they were extremely vulnerable to bayonet charges, as was discovered at Long Island. So they basically said, well, let's kind of replace all of those long rifles with muskets and give them bayonets so that they can actually defend themselves, because riflemen were just getting slaughtered in bayonet charges. So yeah, and just to give variety, I gave them all kind of different socks or stockings, and occasionally here and there I have individuals with painted with linen or wool. You can say it's either one white small clothes, so you'll get a waistcoat that's white. You can say wool or linen, and linen overalls. I tried to give it some variety. So this is just an example of how you can kind of give your regiment some variety. They don't all look the same. They're not all identical, but at the same time, they all look interesting. They're cool to look at, because they're just so different. They all look like they belong in the same regiment, but they're not all the same. You can kind of feel like when you look at them on a tabletop, they don't look like a regiment that's out of the Napoleonic Wars. Which, nothing against you Napoleonic Wars war gamers out there. Nothing but respect for the amount of work that you guys have to do on your miniatures, but I'm the kind of guy that I like variety. I don't like that my regiment's looking exactly the same all the time. So for me, this represents sort of the best part of miniature painting. So this is, again, the 1st Pennsylvania Regiment, circa 1777 to 1778. I plan on doing another video on a paint scheme for the 3rd Pennsylvania Regiment, and I will get to that. Wow, that's really dark, isn't it, guys? I'm sorry about that. I will get to that in the next video you see. All right, guys, take care. Catch you on the flip. So thanks again for watching, everybody. I'm just going to end this video by showing some still images of the completed 1st Pennsylvania Regiment, all 20 figures, at least as they appear when they are on their movement trays. I hope you guys like the video and the paint scheme. Hopefully this gives you inspiration for yours in the future.